God, that is fabulous.
That's proper musical, that was, wasn't it?
Proper musical. Well,
I don't know what it is when there's notes, aren't there? And we talked a little bit in the previous video about how the guitar is such a special instrument because, you know, every part of your fingers and how hard you strum and the guitar, it all just adds up to create this magical journey that every time you go on it's a little bit different. Bingo. Isn't it? You know, it's just like, it's just crazy. But
you know, it's interesting because today's 9/11.
It is.
And
I know.
Nothing, you know, that's my hometown, and nothing makes more sense to me, Lee.
Yeah.
Than playing the guitar, made out of wood.
Yes, I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook this morning about 9/11 and just the state of the world and Syria and all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty tough to deal with, and you do honestly in your heart go, pretty sure if we all just played guitar, you know, it'd be like...
That'd be all right by me.
You know, I think everything would just, the world would cure itself, wouldn't it? And everything would be cool. But yeah, sad day today. So I know when you see this video, it won't be September 11th anymore, but we are all thinking of everybody. Anyway,
this guitar,
yes.
By the way, it embodies all the traditional things that make a Martin guitar luscious. You've got Indian rosewood back and sides, quarter sawn, book matched, beautiful carved neck. And let me tell you about this neck. This neck, which is genuine South American mahogany, has been hand carved. It's one continuous piece of mahogany, and the taper is so comfortable. This is one of the Performing Artist series, and it is just as comfortable here as it is here. And that is so nice for a Martin guitar. Cutaways. This is a relatively, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's a relatively new standard option for Martin guitar. This guitar in particular is special for another couple of reasons. First of all, check out the tuners. These tuners are called...
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Ratio tuners. Now, besides being beautiful looking, they are actually attenuated separately for each string. In other words, the turning ratio for a high E string is, you got to turn it a little more.
Cool. Do you know what? That's when you look at it, that's pretty obvious. But yes. I've never even appreciated that before.
Isn't that cool? Ratio tuners. That's the first thing. The other thing I love about this for the price, a bound fingerboard. When you're a player, that means those side dots really pop out nicely. I mean, a D28 doesn't even have a bound fingerboard. You've got some gorgeous little power around the rosette. Of course, quarter sawn book match spruce, Sitka spruce top with Martin X bracing. And this is scalloped from here down. Scalloped braced guitar at this price point.
It's just fab.
And the simple dovetail on the top. But that's not all. You get cutting knives too. No. Check it out.
Well, look, so I'm here with the wonderful Diane Ponzio from Martin today, and we're talking about a couple of different things that hopefully you'll find interesting with Martin guitars. This video that we're going to do now isn't really about Performing Artist or about some of the heritage kind of models that they do. This is about the problem that gigging guitar players have had pretty much ever since day one, which is, how do you make this stunning instrument sound the way it does in a room, or the way it would happen if you mic'd it up in a studio? How do you get that sound live? And it's a problem because, as you can rightly see, you can't mic up a guitar in every single live situation. In fact, really, there's very few live situations you can mic an acoustic guitar up. You are reliant on some sort of onboard pickup, and of course, live you can't use some of the sort of transducer style technology in an acoustic guitar, like a microphone on board, because of the feedback problems that you'll get live. So manufacturers have for many years now been using this idea of an undersaddle Piezo style pickup.
Let me give a little tutorial for people about that. Larry Fishman, about 30 years ago, he's a very accomplished upright bass player living in Boston, and he has a science degree. He fashioned a pickup for the bass.
Right.
And someone said, Larry, if you were clever, you would do it for a guitar and call this guy Chris Martin. The under the saddle pickup is called a Piezo pickup because Piezo in Greek and Italian basically means pressure. The string hits the material, and because it's originally a ceramic crystal and then a copolymer film, creates a charge. It comes out through the end pin. Voila, you got. But it sounds kind of honky. There are impedance aspects. It's a high impedance signal. Most amplifiers are low impedance, so you have to match it. That's why there's always a battery laterally to match it. Exactly what you're saying. It's amazingly. You just really completely summarized the issue. What we all want is a Neumann U87 right here.
Yeah.
But how doable is that in the pub? So, Larry, in the past, they've come out with gooseneck mics, and you could blend them.
Yeah.
But
even those, as soon as you get any volume in your the gig you're at, you've got feedback problems. As soon as you start, so yeah, it's always been, hasn't it? About, I think everybody's sort of agreed that the Piezo is it's stable, it's proven, it's convenient,
consistent.
So really. And not just Martin, over the years, people like Takamine and stuff like that have really pioneered this idea of putting a preamp to work with the Piezo pickup that somehow gets to that nirvana point where you can't tell the difference between whether you're hearing this plug straight in or a good mic'd up.
The other thing some companies have done is generic models. They'll go in and they'll record some of the iconic acoustic guitars, and you get at that in a pedal or on board, and you can get generic
so it's
modeling.
like digital modeling type thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Larry Fishman, when we came out with the Performing Artist Series a couple of years ago, pioneered an onboard Aura system. The Aura system is a Fishman innovation, and basically this is what it is. You take the guitar into the studio. In this case, we used, I have a Neumann M147, a Groove Tube, an Earthworks, a couple of other Neumanns, an AKG, a Shure DPA. All these different mics were used to record this model. So we took this model in, recorded them with 9 fabulous microphones at close range.
Yeah.
And then Larry was able to take the recording in a digital format and stick it in a 24-bit signal processor that I have a pickup on here, but I also now can activate those colors, the image of what this sounded like in the studio with that, and I could mix it 100%. And this also has a lot of pro audio features on it. Just this little discrete package has phase, a tuner, anti-feedback and compression, plus EQ that it will remember for all the mic sounds. So it's an extraordinary little package here. Where the retro is even...
This is what you can hear in the background. I do apologize.
That was one of the microphones. No. The retro package is even more mind-boggling.
So the Aura system that's on the retro isn't the same as the Aura system that's on the Grand Performer?
It is in one way.
Yeah.
You can activate it the same way, but the retro system, you see, it's called retro because, from the front it looks old style. So this is a retro D35. So D35, by the way, is having a 50th birthday this year. This was 1965. Martin made the decision to use a 3-piece back to conserve Brazilian rosewood. So that's our first green guitar. So from the front it looks like an old D35, but where the retro series is fabulous is you have a Performing Artist neck shape, so you have a nice taper. So it's very comfortable to play. But the system here, we didn't record this guitar.
Right.
We took a 1966 D35 from the museum, and we recorded that with period correct 60s microphones. A Royer, a Sanker, a Me-Lab, a UMT.
So it is essentially the same technology, but with different kind of modeled.
Totally, and it's not, modeling is the generic thing.
Yeah, I hate that word.
The images are really, in the retro series, we took museum guitars.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's phenomenal, and not everybody can do that, of course. People say, can we retrofit our guitar with that? No.
Yeah.
And I have to travel with a stack of a list of microphone images, which is, it's annoying to have to always make sure I have that. But it's a fabulous feature. Any Martin guitar that has onboard Aura has different microphone sounds, because it's that model that was recorded.
Yeah.
or it's donor guitar from the museum in the retro series.
Well, let's the proof is in the pudding.
Always.
So we've got a couple of. We don't have a Neumann, but we've got a couple of mics here. We've got a nice quality SE5, I think it's called SE5 pencil mic, and we've got one of the new Rode NTR ribbon microphones. So we'll get a nice blend of that. When you're hearing the acoustic and we're not talking, we've taken the shotgun out, so you're not
all the mics. You're just hearing the pickup.
Well, when you hear the acoustic through the mics, it'll just be these two, and then when we go over to the Aura system, you'll see us. We'll annotate it on screen,
right?
And you'll be able to see, and you'll be able to make a decision. Obviously, it's going to sound a little different because the mic models are different. But so I'm not asking you to listen to this and go, oh, I can tell the difference.
They might not be able to.
Well, what I'm asking you is go, but does it sound worse or better? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're saying,
yes,
could you just either live or record by just plugging your guitar in? Actually, and again, we talk about value. I should say there's over £1,000 worth of microphones there. So
well,
if you had a home studio and you didn't need to buy your £1,000 worth of microphones to mic up your acoustic guitar, all of a sudden you could arguably say that this guitar is £1,000, sort of.
How much is a Neumann
value.
U87?
Oh, it's over £1,000 now in this country. Yeah, I think it's about £1,200.
Yeah,
like
and some of the old ones are worth about
$40,000
$40,000 that we use in the retro series.
Crazy. Well, look. So let's have some playing, and.
So the beginning was with the mics.
Yeah.
So you've heard. That's what it sounds like with these two microphones. So now, when we get the package shipped to Lee, we ship it in what we call easy mode, because some people just want to plug and play.
I like easy mode, yes.
A lot of people do, and I can appreciate that. So you plug the guitar in. The first thing you want to be able to access is the tuner. The tuner will work whether you're plugged in or not. How do you get the tuner? First, there's this discrete display here. Now, there's two knobs. Each of these knobs have a couple of hats that they wear. The one that has a little V on it, that's your hint, it's volume. So volume there. This is where if you just press it down and hold it, you will get the tuner. And it's a really fabulous chromatic tuner, so you can do all kinds of crazy tunings, and it'll help you on stage. If you're plugged in and you have the tuner, it automatically mutes. That's great.
Yeah.
One of the pro audio features I love about this Aura package is that it has a phase button on here. Now, the way I explain phase is that the signal is traveling through the wire like a wave. It will get to wherever it's going, whether it's an amp or a mixer, and then that signal will then be dispersed into your ears in one of two patterns, in phase or out of phase. So it's very easy. There's only two choices. So whenever you have a chance to check the phase, that's exactly what you do. You play a chord, you press the phase, and then you pick the one you like better. Basically, it's a totally subjective choice.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, and perhaps, is it always subjective? Because don't you have something where, conceivably, if you're playing with another guitar, because the way I sort of understood phase, if you imagine your sine wave and you've got the line through the middle, and you've got, and essentially one is driving the speaker forward and one is kind of driving the speaker back. So, and all the phase thing is just swap that round.
Right.
So if you have a situation where you have out of phase, I don't know if it works with different musicians. It would certainly work if it was the same speaker, but essentially where one speaker's they're almost counteracting each other, so it's important to be able to very quickly and easily just switch the phase on.
But the thing is, some people do like an out of phase. Remember how many phase shifters were sold in the
It's definitely another one of those things where you go, oh, it does sound a little bit different. So of course you can do exactly what Diane said, which is just choose the one you like the best. There's no right or wrong, is there? Anyway.
This is the brains right here, what you could essentially call an edit button, but this is where all the technology is living. When we ship it out in easy mode, it's basically an EQ, so all the way left is flat, and you have basically four choices here. You have the pickup sound, and that's a typical pickup sound, and then you have three pre-blended microphone sounds. They're good. I'm not even sure which mics they use, but they're pre-blended. So you have this mic sound, it sounds very different than the pickup. I can't hear it through but I know it is. 2 and 3. These are the pre-blended mic sounds. So it's dead easy. This is flat, easy peasy. Okay, so that's easy mode. You just plug and play. But if you want to access this deeper program that has these incredible microphone sounds, you have to just change from easy mode. It's very easy to do so. Unplug your patch cord, and now press this button and hold it down. Don't let go. And now plug the patch cord back in, and you see that R? That would be your reset. I don't want reset. Just keep holding it until a P arrives, and then press this and let go. And after that stops flashing, as it just has, this button has changed to a little Einstein, okay? This is now not a sweeping EQ, but rather a blend between the pickup sound and the image, okay? So here's the pickup sound. It'll be, just very straight. Basically allows you to mix the sound of the pickup with the images. Now, I'm going to go all the way to image so you can hear them. And now, how do I access these incredible mic sounds? You press this button. You see the eye with the green. And now we have 1 through 9 that is available. So I'm just going to go through them. I'm not hearing this out, but you guys can hear it. This is a Neumann M147. Number 2 is what we call a groove tube. It's a ribbon mic, so it's going to have a very different sound. Kind of a chicken scrawl. An AEA is the next mic. This is of course, this is...
Let me get that.
Yep, thanks. This is actually the Earthworks, which is a is a Neumann. It's a KM84. Number 5 is a delicious Neumann U87. It sounds all the same to us because we're not hearing it plugged in. It's funny.
I like this chord.
Yes. Number 6 is an AKG C414, and for those of you who are mic aficionados, you'll know that was the microphone used for just about every pop song in the 70s and 80s. Great mic. Of course, some of us can't afford any of these mics, and what we have in our home studio is a Shure SM57. So Larry wanted to be sure to include that to make it home for you. Favorite mics is a Danish mic called the DPA 4011. That's what number 8 is. A beautiful old high-end Shure, a KSM 141. Let's say you're at a gig and you love the sound of this, but you want to change the EQ. When you press this again, you have treble, mid-range bass. You can change it. It will remember the EQ on that mic sound. If you're at home going into your laptop with a MIDI interface, you can have compression so that if you're layering tons of tracks, you might want to compress the signal. You have that. If the kick drum is behind you on stage and you start to get any kind of whoop, you just go to Big A. Big A is the anti-feedback filter. It will find the frequency that's feeding back, take it away. It does everything but Windows, this thing.
It's
Can't you clean Windows? It's extraordinary technology.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you might feel, oh my God, I don't know if I... Listen, takes 5 or 10 minutes to sit down and be comfortable, and then you have a 9 world-class microphone set on this guitar, and live it just is...
And I suspect if you're
mind-boggling.
playing live through the same PA system every week, chances are you're going to find your one anyway,
Absolutely.
aren't you? And then,
of course
so
you
you're
are.
not going to go through this every single
But
gig,
you could. I mean,
yeah, you could.
You could use a different mic for different songs. Strumming will require maybe a different mic set than
That's
picking.
true. That's true.
And I mean, that's been my experience. Yeah.
No, that's very true. So what have people got to look out for in the sort of product description then to make sure that they're getting the Aura?
It will say on the display window,
Yeah.
Aura, versus
yeah,
analog, because there's the analog package looks
the
very
same, doesn't
looks
it?
exactly alike.
Yeah.
So it has to say Aura.
Right.
And
okay.
then what you need to do is sit down with Paul or Matt and sit down, plug it in, and see the capabilities.
Yeah.
Even in easy mode, it sounds extraordinary, but when you get into this mic
Well,
set,
easy mode isn't like a worse mode, is it?
No,
you know,
it's
easy
just
mode
easy.
It's just someone saying,
Just
look, we picked the
immediate.
3 kind of good, you know, our
Exactly.
favourite bits, and here you go.
Now, the way to get back into easy mode, by the way, is also easy. That's where you have the reset button. You press this, you put the patch cord in just like before, and just R's for reset. Holding this down, press this, let go, and then now you're in the original P123 easy mode.
Fantastic. Well, look, why don't we play out using the retro? Because we would love to just hear you play for a minute or so. But so you choose whichever your favourite thing is. You're only just going to hear this, Ruby. Stop eating things off the floor.
Well, first I'm going to go into, I'm not going to do it in easy mode. I'm going to go into the deeper mode here. I'm going to give you a little taste of this. The microphone I'm using on the 1966 D35 recording that's being activated by this guitar. So it's the sound of this guitar infiltrated with the sound of its donor. Is a Melab 96. It's a beautiful Swedish mic, and at
So
close
none of these,
range.
These are all switched
They're all
off
off.
now. You won't. It's fab, isn't it?
It is.
It's a
Still
great guitar.
ringing, still going.
I know. I have I have a soft spot for the D35. I
Me
wish,
too.
I
It's
wish
my
mine
first
was.
modern guitar.
I wish mine was a 1960. What do you say it was?
66.
66. So mine's not that old. Mine's a 72, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
But the 66 will be Brazilian.
Yes. So I've which I guess I'll always. But then I don't know. I'll never know. Next time I'm in the States, I will have to try and come to the Martin factory and try a Brazilian rosewood one, and then I can kind of compare as to whether. So what's mine? Indian rosewood, is it? Yeah. Oh well. Well, look. There you go. It's never long enough with Diane.
Oh, I could stay here all day with you.
You are staying here all day. We're going to have some nice lunch, and then we're going to go to the store and hopefully meet some customers.
Okay.
But for now, that's it, I'm afraid. That's your video, little slice of Diane finished now, probably until we see her again in the NAMM show.
Yeah. And I love when you visit me at the NAMM booth.
Well, I think we're bringing Peter this year as well, so we'll come over mob-handed.
I just want to say to everybody, look, if you love the guitar, get yourself to Andertons. I know you know all the web stuff and the social media. Make the trip, because it's a magical place to be. Candy store for a guitar player.
We've got, we are blessed at the moment. That I don't know that we've ever had a time when the crew have been as dedicated and as passionate they are. We've got some guys that have been with us for a while. Paul, he knows acoustic guitars like upside down and inside out. And some guys that have only just joined us, but they're bringing a real new, fresh passion for guitars and stuff. But you should absolutely come to the store, because like Diane said, the website's great, and we sell tons of stuff on the website, and we're well known for shipping stuff all the way around. But the real magic happens. The real magic happens when you come.
Especially with a handmade guitar. You need to just come and pick it out.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thanks, Lee.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Mwah.
Bye, Ruby.
Yeah, say bye. Well done for not barking too much. Right.